Once, upon a cold, frost-bitten dawn, in a valley no map bothered to mark, lived an old watchmaker named Elias Crowe. Folks said time itself stumbled when he walked. He moved too slow for morning, too quick for dusk, like he'd borrowed seconds from tomorrow just to patch yesterday's regrets. His shop sat wedged between a bakery that smelled of cinnamon lies and a cobbler who nailed secrets into every soul. Inside, brass gears clicked louder than gossip, and every tick sounded like a heartbeat refusing to quit. Elias hadn't always been alone. 40 winters back, he'd loved Mara, a girl who laughed so bright sparrows forgot to migrate. She sold wildflower crowns at the market, threading stems with whispers. Wear this, and the world leans kinder. They married under a sky stitched with migrating geese, promised forever. But promises are glass. One slip, and they're shards. A traveling merchant offered Elias a clockwork heart, guaranteed to outlast flesh. Elias, drunk on youth's arrogance, said yes. The surgeon's knife slipped. Mara bled out on their kitchen table, while gears ticked uselessly inside her. Ever since, Elias fixed broken things, hoping machinery might forgive what flesh couldn't. Years thinned him. Customers came for heirlooms, pocket watches lost by granddads in trenches, lullabies stuck in music boxes, but left heavier than they arrived, carrying stories instead of time. One blizzard evening, a boy no taller than Elias's knee burst in, snow crusting his eyelashes. Luma, 9, maybe 10, cheeks like frostbitten apples. Grandpa's clock stopped, he panted. He says if it don't tick again, he'll forget Mama's voice. The boy clutched a silver hunter case watch, dented from falling off rooftops. Elias took it gently, like holding smoke. Inside, the mainspring had snapped, clean, surgical, a lifetime of pauses. Can't fix what's already gone, Elias muttered. Luma's chin wobbled. But you fix everything. Outside, wind howled hymns to empty streets. Elias stared at the shards of spring. Memories, too, or mechanisms, coiled tight, wound by love, shattered by grief. He'd spent decades rebuilding strangers' hours, but never dared touch his own. Mara's voice, soft, lilting, still lived somewhere between his ribs, but time had rusted the lock. Stay, Elias said. Luma's eyes widened. They worked till lamplight guttered. Elias showed the boy levers, pins, the poetry of metal. Luma's fingers, stained with ink from drawing dragons, were clumsy but steady. See, Elias whispered, broken's only broken if you stop winding. When dawn spilled honey across the floorboards, the watch ticked. Not perfectly, 3 beats fast, then slow, like breathing after a run. Luma grinned so wide, his front teeth threatened mutiny. Old Man Harold, Luma's grandpa, was waiting outside, cane tapping snow into Morse code. Elias hesitated. The watch wasn't perfect. Perfect things don't last. They're museum pieces. It runs, Elias said, but it'll wander, like hearts do. Harold took it, listened. Tick, tick. Sounds like her laugh, he rasped, tears freezing on his whiskers. Luma hugged Elias's knees. Can I come again? Elias swallowed gravel. Doors always cracked. But that night, something shifted. The shop's silence felt less accusing. Elias found himself winding Mara's music box, tiny ballerina, frozen mid-pirouette. He replaced the comb, soldered the tiniest screw. Music trickled out, a waltz they'd dance barefoot in the kitchen. For the first time in decades, he didn't flinch. Next morning, Luma returned with broken dreams instead of watches, a kite without tail, a promise his papa might come home. Elias taught him to sew, not just mend. Stories need loose threads, Elias said. That's where new beginnings hide. Winter thawed. Spring painted everything reckless. Elias stopped refusing coffee invitations. Kids climbed his sagging fence, trading marbles for glimpses inside Gearhart wonders. Luma grew inches overnight. Elias grew words. One afternoon, he gave the boy a blank watch face. Paint whatever tomorrow looks like, Elias said. Luma drew sunrise smeared in orange, a dog mid-jump, and, tiny, tucked behind gears, 2 silhouettes dancing. That's you and Grandma Mara, Luma explained. Elias's throat closed. Not grief, recognition. Time didn't erase, it layered. Years later, Luma, a lanky 15, with scraped knuckles and first heartbreak eyes. The shop burned. Lightning, people swore, dancing down chimney bricks. Elias, too old for buckets, stood in the street, clutching Mara's music box. Flames licked like hungry tongues, devouring decades of ticking ghosts. Yet, inside the blaze, something glinted. Luma sprinted, bare feet on embers, yanking Elias back, just as the roof caved. When smoke cleared, one thing survived: Luma's painted watch face, warped but intact, sunrise bleeding into sunset. They rebuilt. Not the same. Bricks warmer, windows wider. Elias hired apprentices, runaways, poets, kids with pockets full of almost broken things. Luma became foreman, hands calloused, voice steady. On opening day, Elias set a single gear in the window, bent, blackened, still spinning. Engraved beneath, broken teaches better than perfect. Now, late evenings, Elias winds Mara's box one last time before sleep. The ballerina spins, slightly offbeat. Good, he thinks. Offbeat means alive. Through the window, valley lights flicker like slow stars. Somewhere down the lane, a new kid tugs a grandpa's sleeve. Fix it, and Elias, older, lighter, smiles the way Mara once did. Time, he'd learned, wasn't a straight line. It was a dance floor. You step on toes, miss beats, fall, but the music keeps playing if someone brave enough keeps winding. Tick, tick, tick.